Hello and welcome back. This is the Comic Adventures of Silly and Prism, Part 2. Now, in your last episode, you guys probably didn't take a lot of notes. That's okay. You probably have notes of some drawings. Actually, I realized that you didn't even get to do a drawing of Silly. So if you could add to your drawings, you should have a prism, you should have a cone, those kind of drawings. Draw Silly, label it a cylinder. And then also point to the bases, which of course with Silly, bases are a circle. Alright, and once you have that, you will be ready to start our next adventures, Part 2. Welcome back. We hope you're enjoying the show. That's enough, guys. I just got back from changing the water in Silly's mother's bowl. And I was busy reading Prism's diary. Prism, why do you have the longings of a teenage girl? It's always Edward this or Jacob that. You're such a loser that even your Rice Krispies won't talk to you. But let's talk about the celebrity part of our show. To demonstrate how to find the volume of fabulous polyhedrons such as myself, we will bring in celebrities, and our audience, that's you students, will get to calculate the volume. Fabulous Prism, Eva Longoria, Beyonce, they're fabulous. You're so ugly, your pillow cries at night. Okay, that was a little creepy. In general, to find the volume of a polyhedron, you need to multiply the area of the base. So in this case, with Silly here, his base would be a circle. So you have to first find the area of the circle. So use formulas such as for a circle would be pi r squared, rectangle would be length times width. You find that two-dimensional area first, and then multiply by the third dimension of height. There are exceptions, of course, but to find the volume of Prism in I, the formula is base times height. So volume is equal to base, and notice this is a capital B standing for the area of whatever the base is, times the height. Alright, to find Prism's volume, and this is something we're going to write down. Yes, if you could, please draw a prism, label it length, width, and height, and write down the formula to solve this, to find the volume of a prism, which is just length times width times height. In case we didn't get this, length, width, and height, which of course, if you lined up unit cubes all the way in every dimension, you'll get the same result of multiplying. No one wants to go near your insides with unit cubes or a 10-foot pole. You're so stank, my gas mask became a fashion statement. Okay, Silly. Let's see how to calculate your volume. I'll talk slow because you once got stuck in an oven and froze to death. And to find Silly's volume, we need to first take a second to add this to your notes, guys. Would you please draw the cylinder and label it height and radius. Again, radius starts in the center of the circle and connects to an endpoint. To find the volume of a cylinder, first we find the area of the circle, which is pi r squared. So area is equal to pi times your radius squared. Then you multiply that by the height, and that will give you the volume. So total formula, volume is equal to pi times your radius squared times height. Okay, Silly. That's enough close-ups of you for now. You're so ugly, every time you smile, a fairy dies. Okay. That's enough of that. I think the audience can find volume, but you, Prism, are so dumb that when I told you Christmas was around the corner, you went to go look for it. You're a short little turd, and you're a stupid wiener. And that's that. Now, for the celebrity portion of our show. But first, audience, It's time to find the volume of Prism and I with numbers. And yep, you guessed it. What I'd like you to do is, given a, well, this is a cube, find the volume with length of 2 feet, width of 2 feet, and height of 2 feet. Yeah, this is easy. Even silly could calculate it. And then next, what I'd like you to do is calculate the volume of a cylinder with the height of 6 feet and a radius of 18 inches. Now, the reason silly is saying to be careful on this one is, are these measurements the same? Maybe we should convert from one to the other. And my advice is to make your answers match the inches on the next slide. Make these into feet. Okay? Now, since you have to do some writing, I would suggest taking a second, hit pause. Do the calculations for both the prism and the cylinder. I'll wait. Pause. So, did you get your answer? If you didn't, continue hitting pause. If you did, good job. Well, what'd you get? Correct answer, of course, is the volume of the cylinder of the prism is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8 feet cubed. And Silly's volume is 6 times 3.14 times 1.5 squared. Now, 1.5 comes from the 18 inches. So, to convert 18 inches into feet, there are 12 inches in 1 foot. So, 18 divided by 12 would give you 1.5 feet. So, following order of operations here, we would do our exponents first. 1.5 squared is 1.5 times 1.5. Then multiply by 3.14. Then multiply by 6. Did you get 42.39? Prism says that's a waste of 42.39 cubic feet. Okay? If you didn't, go back, try, see if you can get the answer. We'll wait. And now, as promised, it's time to meet our first celebrity. Ladies and gentlehedron, welcome one of the most famous rectangular prisms of all time, Spongebob. Spongebob has agreed to tell us his dimensions. Yes, thank you. Spongebob, everybody, so that our audience can find his volume, including this cylindrical hat. How convenient. Alright, so here are the dimensions of Spongebob. He has 18 inches, ooh, that's not in feet, as a width, 1 foot as the length, 3 feet as his height. So first, do your calculations of this prism. Then when you're done, we're going to find this cylindrical hat, of course, ignoring this part. The height is 1 foot, the diameter, be careful on that, the diameter is 6 inches. Okay, now, this is your turn. I would like you to calculate the volume of SpongeBob and his hat. Now, hit pause. This one might take a little bit. Take your time. Well, what do you think? Audience participation counts in this show. Did you get an answer? If you were trying to find the volume of SpongeBob, the answer would be 1 times 3 times 1.5. And again, that 1.5 right here, that came from the 18 inches. 18 inches divided by 12 will give you 1.5 because we need all three of these dimensions to be the same unit of measure. So that gives us 4.5 cubic feet. Okay, so to find, that's SpongeBob's volume, but we need to find his hat as well. So in order to do that, it's a cylinder. So it's pi, you can use 3.14 as an estimate, times the radius squared. Now that one's tricky because it said the diameter was 6 inches. Now the diameter of a circle, if we have our circle, what's a bad circle? I'm drawing on the screen here. Give me a break. If we had a radius, it would go from the center of the circle to the end point. A diameter cuts through the entire thing. So if the radius is half the circle, the diameter would be the whole measure of the circle. So if the whole thing is 6, half of this to find the radius would just be 3. And if the radius is 3 inches, we don't want to use 3 because remember we need to convert these inches into feet, 12 inches in a foot. So we would divide that by 12. 3 divided by 12, which is where we get 0.25. And of course we're going to square that. So 0.25 times 0.25 times pi times a height of 1. So you get 0.19625 feet, cubic feet, and 6-inch diameter gives a 0.25 foot radius. Okay, so to find this total volume, we'll just add 4.5 plus 0.19625 to find his total volume. Did you get that? If not, rewind, pause. This is a video. It's not going anywhere. Yes, audience, welcome a very famous cylinder, R2-D2. He is a complex figure consisting of a cylinder, right here, and a hemisphere, which a hemisphere, again, is just half of a sphere. And R2-D2 is the only celebrity with such a dirty mouth that every word he has ever said gets bleeped out. To find the volume of R2-D2, use the formula pi times your radius squared times height to find the cylinder, and then you would add 4/3 pi r cubed, which is the formula for a sphere, but since it's a hemisphere, we divide that by 2. Every time I talk to you, I feel like my words need to be bleeped out. You're so... Oh yes, censored. And now, for our last celebrity, a personal favorite of mine. Please welcome the cartoon version of Justin Bieber. Silly. You are seriously so stupid. You taped a piece of paper to the TV and called it pay-per-view. Justin Bieber? How is he like a polyhedron? You're so stupid that you went to an orthodontist to buy a Bluetooth. Silly. Now, audience, it's time for you to practice with the homework we have prepared for you. I'm going to harmonize with the cartoon Bieber. Oh, baby, baby, baby. No. No, sorry. No singing. That's right. See you next time on the comic adventures of Silly and Prism.